Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Hello, if you can hear me, just
Good
drop the
afternoon.
emoji. Okay, how are we doing
Good
today?
afternoon. Very well.
Well, welcome to this month virtual meetup, and it's nice to see every one of us. I'm seeing Mr. Damilola, our speaker, and I'm seeing our convener, Dr. Emmanuel Jason. Good
Thank
afternoon,
you.
Brad Steven. Good afternoon, Brad Steven. Are you
Good
there?
afternoon. I think he's actually sending a emoji.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
he's
okay.
clapping. Yeah.
So welcome everyone, and it's another time, it's another day to engage together. So today, um, as to our topic, we'll be discussing on the future of AI, the future of work and AI and the future of work. And I would believe that every one of us, one way or the other, we started using AI in our offices, place of work to do maybe little tasks and all that. And there have been multiple discussions that concerning AI, making people lazy and all that. I don't know. Did this actually make us get more lazy? I want us to talk. For those of us that have been using AI in our work, are we actually lazy? Or it makes us
Oh
more
no, I don't
efficient?
think so. Yeah, I think he
Eh?
does the otherwise. The latter actually. I think he does the latter. Productivity, efficiency, scaling, whatever context you want to use. I mean that's what AI does.
Okay. Because there's this belief that the more people are using AI, they don't seem to want to use it anymore. Just anything. Boom, AI, it just do it for them. And people were like,
Yeah.
in fact,
I think there's even
in
a
our,
research
in our,
society that
okay,
says that
sir.
maybe the brain decay due to AI or something like that. So sometimes I don't really know what to think.
Okay. Yeah, that tends to happen when we have some people that tends to maybe abuse the use of AI. This AI of the thing is not uh, something one can jump into if you are not maybe sound in that field of study you are doing. Actually, it just be like a brain decay, just as I've said, because imagine you are not good in medical practice, and then because you now feel that there's AI, then you can have your answer, you can go away with any medical thing. That's actually wrong. But for those uh, that are in the field, they will see more to it. They will see productivity to it. They will see efficiency to it, and they will appreciate it much better because it will make them work faster. So, and then the I don't know the issue of AI. Many people think maybe it's just generative AI. So when we talk about AI and it comes up and the future of work, it also boils down to this generative AI that wow, the people are using it that maybe to take our work in the near future. I want us to also talk about that when we talk about AI, is it this generative AI that will take our work, especially content, photography, medical, engineering, and all that? Do you have the belief that generative AI is capable? Because most people don't even think about the robotics. We have the robotics that have been there for some time in our factories that have been doing some work, and in some places, many casual workers have been displaced, uh, and all that. So, but this time, when AI is talked about, it is just generative AI. Generative AI. I want us to speak that. I want us to speak concerning that. How long do you think? How much of work do you think generative AI can consume? That this can it take? Bro, Maldi, good afternoon, sir. Doctor.
Yes.
Yes, I want to speak concerning that when we
Okay, great.
the generative
Yeah,
AI.
I mean, from my research, right? When we say AI is artificial intelligence, and it is simply making non-machines behave like non-humans behaving like man, like maybe like machines, computers, devices behaving like human beings. That's like a very layman way of looking at it. And I mean, for my search, I've seen that. Well, depending on who you're talking to, I like to see AI like to be divided into 5 aspects. So for me, the first one is machine learning, and that's one area I'm really interested in. The second is natural language processing. That is where all these LLM, generative AI fall into. So it is just one bit of one aspect of AI, right? Under natural language processing, you still have things like translation, you have things like interpretation, like all these Google Translate, or there are some devices you speak your language to the device. Maybe you are in Spain and you don't speak Spanish, you don't speak English to the device, and the person hears you in in Spanish. Then today they are talking about holograms and things like that, where you are not in an event, but they are seeing your picture and you are speaking to, maybe you're talking in Chinese and you're talking to people, to Chinese people, and they're hearing you in Chinese, and you are right there in front of them speaking Chinese. So that's just one aspect. So machine learning, natural language processing, under which I can categorize machine generative AI that has become so popular. Then we have robotics, like you said, we have had robotics for several years. Like, I mean, if a machine is doing your robotics, all the robotics can be classified into different regards, right? Into different aspects. So in car manufacturing factories, we've had robotics all these years, like, working on different parts of a machine and things like that. And you have humanoids, all these robots that look like humans. So you have different types of robots like that. So machine learning, natural language processing, robotics, and there is computer vision. This is where gaming, pictures, and all of these things come in. Videos, game. Okay, I've talked about game. So machine learning, natural language processing, robotics, computer vision, and of course there's expert systems. Expert systems is like making computer behave like a lawyer. So, and of course it's more like maybe you're a lawyer in Nigeria, then you design a system that contains the Nigerian constitution, all the case laws in different aspects. And then if there's a particular case and you want to, as a lawyer, you need to do a lot of research, right? So a system can be designed so that it does go there and interrogate it to get information about all of these things. So generative AI it just came in September 2022, but then it's more like pushed something that has been, or that has been in our faces that we've not been paying attention to. At least for the longest, we have things like WebMD. WebMD, where doctors can go and they say, okay, if somebody has this symptom, what is the issue? That's AI right there. That's expert system. In fact, that's a combination of expert system, even generative AI in a sense. But ChatGPT just came and blew up everything. And I mean, I'm beginning to talk too much. I'm not a guest speaker. Yeah, my personal testimony, talking about any new thing that comes, people are always skeptical, and then later on, when it's too late, some people now finally join. I heard that when calculators were introduced, some people protested against it. And right now, calculators are normal parts of our lives. So imagine me, for instance, I started my YouTube channel. I uploaded my first video February 2024. And as at now, I have almost 1,060 something videos. What has made that possible? AI. So I use AI to generate a curriculum. So if you look at my YouTube channel, when I teach math or anything I teach, I don't just take, most people that teach math, they just take a question and solve it. And that's what they do. So for me, I take a question, I take a topic, and I take it from the definition till the very end. And that has been made very possible for me because of AI. So I can categorically say that instead of making me lazy, AI has made me be more productive. In fact, people keep wondering that, how come the last time I made videos, I made 5 videos within a few hours, because I don't have to worry and start solving the problem and start forming the notes from the scratch. AI does it, but because I have the knowledge already, when AI is giving me wrong answers, I correct it. So, and that's why if you're not intelligent, AI will expose you. right? So that is why it doesn't still remove the place of your intelligence as a human being. I'm sorry, I'm talking too much. Bye. Let me say the floor.
Okay. Wow. Thank you so much, sir. You really opened the floor. So, for what I think, if you are not intelligent, the AI will make a disgrace of you. So it's not that AI is taking your work. It's just that your own intelligence is being shown by not maybe by not being an expert in that sort of field of study. Thank you so much, sir. We'll be going to our discussion proper. And before we go into that, I would like to introduce our speaker. I'd like to introduce our speaker. Our speaker would go by the name Dapherede Damilola. Mr. Dapherede Damilola is an AI research engineer, and he currently works at a research lab. His expertise lies in data science and applied artificial intelligence. He also has core interest in AI for business application, finance, and healthcare. Presently, he is a fellow of a research grant where he explored AI's role in healthcare and conducts exciting research on the brain. And conduct exciting research on the brain. He's passionate about novel projects, as he's currently working on AI-powered computer vision system designed to estimate nutrient values from African food data sets. Earlier when our daddy was talking, he was saying he talked about computer vision. So we'll be knowing more about AI and how it relates to all these things. So and with part of computer vision, other part of the AI which are generative, robotics, and so on. So can we welcome it as we take off the floor? In person of Mr. Dapherede Damilola, our research AI engineer. You are welcome, sir. Good afternoon, sir. Hello?
Yeah, I think I must add here that Dapherede Damilola is also is our leader in RBF, is our strategy lead, is like the Oga of the leadership team. Thank you so much for your service always.
Thank you so much, everyone. I'm really very honored to be here this afternoon. Like, I had to, I would say that I might not be sharing slides, but if you have a book or a file, there's a whole lot that Prof has actually shared, right?
Voice seems to be fluctuating. It's fainting, it's coming up, it's not stable.
All right. All right, can you hear me now? Is it better now? Hello?
Way better now, yes.
All right, yes, okay. So thank you so much for this opportunity. I'm really glad. So if you can't hear me, just give me a heads up. I would probably find a better spot to speak. I'm walking away. I think there's a better spot that I can use. So I'll just take move forward from where Prof actually mentioned. So AI is actually, just building intelligent systems that can do what human being can also do, but in a more, speedy way. And there's a whole lot of things that human beings cannot do, and that's solving complex tasks. Human beings cannot solve complex tasks. And AI is actually very interesting, to be sincere, right? And there are a lot of fields in AI, and AI, machine learning, robotics, computer vision, NLP, NLP. I was at an event. I don't know if you can hear me. If you can hear me, just give me an emoji so that I know that we'll follow it. So I was in an event. I think that was 4 days ago. I don't know. That was last week. It was a cultural summit on the island, and it was a very interesting talk. And the talk was more like, okay, how do we, begin to recreate Nigerian story, right? So that people who are out there, what are we saying about Nigeria in terms of storytelling? So, and it was actually a very interesting talk. in the sense that we had amazing, I love the way Dr. Paul Wamnube, shared the story of France. He said, when you talk about love, you're looking at the Paris. I'm also looking at, the day I, ask my wife out and say, oh, let's go to Paris and make this beautiful. So that's the story that Paris tells, right? And there's a story that Lagos also tells. When you hear Lagos, you are hearing what noise, the brouhaha and everything. And it was actually a very interesting experience when we're talking about, hospitality and storytelling and how people see Nigeria outside the four walls, when you are in Europe, probably in China, Japan, and all that. And it's very interesting that technology can actually do a lot. You ask a white man about Nigeria, and the next thing the person is here, the perception, because perception is actually a big deal. Now, here is where I'm going to with the story. Realize that AI can actually redefine a new story about Nigeria. And I remember when I had a conversation when I raised my hands up, and the story, one of Dr. Ruby was talking about what they were doing in terms of there are a lot of Nigerians, Africans outside Africa, and they don't really know about their origin. And they were building a large language model, not really from the scratch, but in a whereby you could go down to history and say, what's Yoruba? How many states are in Yoruba? What language do they speak? Where am I from? Because you see, Google will not capture things to details to the ground, right? And that's the beautiful thing about AI. And I also had to also had mine, and it was really beautiful story for me because Dr. Obi just said, "Oh, we need to work together. I need to get your number." In fact, it was really very hilarious, and people were like, "Wow, you got this one." And it's a beautiful thing about here whereby you can actually preserve heritage culture and people begin to see that. Take for instance, ChatGPT is every good to users. Everybody wants to check one thing. So what if I'm asking questions about Nigeria? What should come out of those responses? And that is where AI is redefining a lot. It's redefining stories. It's redefining how we work. It's redefining, the future of work in terms of healthcare. Now, let's move past that experience and moving close to what I do. And even I remember when doctor was talking about the constraint about healthcare in Canada, whereby it takes a long time before you see a doctor. We say, well, let's build systems that can actually make it easier. We're looking at AI. It's AI will really solve this better in the sense that okay, we're working on the brain. This person has issue. How do we quickly find possible doctors that could probably manage the recovery process, in a field that is, I would say that people are not really like, let me give an instance. In neurology, if you actually are conversant with neuroscience, we have fewer neuro doctors in Nigeria, right? So how do we find them when somebody has a brain problem? Do you understand? So you want to tailor. So you see that AI does a lot in terms of precision in diagnosis, right? Because brain is actually a very complex thing. It's a very, very complex thing. And you see that over years, the problem about solving brain problem has been precision of drug, not generalizing the drug. So if you have a brain seizure, it's cured generally, but you will always have an alibus, in the sense that you either be talking or one of your hand is not working again because of the drugs you use. Do you understand? There's always something that is still left. So what's AI doing? AI is doing a serious precision issue. It can work like a kind of rehabilitation that okay, if this person is asking this kind of questions, let's tailor the precision of those treatments to that. So that's basically what AI can do. So AI is solving a major problem in every space. Let's talk e-commerce. I worked at Jumia many years ago, like 3 years. And what was e-commerce? E-commerce, B2C, B2B. So one of the things that AI, or I would say machine learning algorithm, has been able to do for us at Jumia at that time was it was simple. So somebody comes into the cart, or comes in to buy something on that cart, and the next thing it's just, is it shadow shopping or how do you say it? It's not buying, but mainly it goes online to check something on that chart or on that store. There's a prompt mail that comes to your mailbox and say, oh, you left that bio that you wanted to buy. So there's a reminder prompt. Do you understand? I'm just saying whereby you go to Google and you're looking for a bag, and the next thing bags are looking for you, and they're sending you mails, right? So pretty much, so what is that being done there? It's simple. It's AI. It's machine learning, whereby I'm learning a pattern on how you are searching for an item, and that algorithm can define how me, as a digital marketer or somebody who works at an e-commerce company, to say, let me navigate the people who is going to look for the kind of products I'm actually selling. Do you understand? So it makes things easy. So I'm not just throwing money or like that, saying that okay, I'm running on ads. You see, machine learning and also AI in this context, in this inbuilt, right? And that's pretty much what AI is doing. It does that in e-commerce, it does that in logistics, it does that in healthcare, even in finance. In finance, you see that financing now. I'll give you an instance of cryptocurrency, or let's say maybe crypto or forex and all that. Now, you don't know what the market will look like, right? So there are major factors that contribute to how market fluctuates and all that. Now, the evolution of cryptocurrency is moving towards this side, whereby there are chatbots that are designed to trade on your behalf. Do you understand? You just fund it, and the chatbot is actually looking at, oh, let's see. You understand? They're looking at the patterns, and they're looking at factors of governmental factors and all those things. So that you minimize loss, you might maximize profit. You understand? Not like you are going into the market, oh, I'm investing $5,000 to buy that. So that when it goes high and all the nuances in crypto, or probably when you are doing Bitcoin. Now we are building intelligent system that can do serious prediction. These are the patterns, these are factors and all that. So pretty much what AI is doing. AI is doing it. Definitely you see that the goal of AI is to maximize productivity. You get. So that's pretty much my summary. So I'll be looking at in context. The way I outlined it before my system crash was the evolution of AI. And number two, I'll also be looking at dealing with AI and then the future of AI and the future of work. I think I also mentioned some other few things. Okay, the emergence of new fields, and also I think I'll speak about the last one. Yeah, let's go back to the evolution of AI. So
Yeah, the sound
how
is
much
unstable.
was all right? Okay, can you hear me now? Is it better now? If it is better, please kindly.
It's still
Better now.
All right. Okay. So like I will reiterate what I said. I said I'll be discussing them in context of the evolution of AI and also AI and today's work. Then I'll also look at the third one, which is the emergence of new fields, you know, which which is intersecting with AI. And the fourth one I'll also be looking at AI in the future. We'll just wrap it up there. So first off is the evolution of AI. What did we have, before? I remember when I was in Futa, when we were studying computer science and we are looking at automata, and I never knew that automata was actually the foundation of NLP. How syntax and semantics, or let me just say the foundation of what you call generative AI, whereby you send a prompt and it generates comes in videos, it can come in text, it can come in content, see all that. Those things are serious foundation in automata because see that the tenses are following and all that. NLP is a very, very interesting aspect of AI. Oh, Ovi said he's not hearing me. Can you hear me
The
now?
sound is quite unstable.
All right, so just give me 2 minutes. Let me get a better space to sit down. Just 2 minutes.
All right. Mr. Moderator, maybe you want to step in till then.
Hello everyone. I don't know if we are following the discussion, our engagement, and if there's any questions to ask.
Can you hear me? Is this better now?
Okay. Hello, sir.
Yeah, I said, is this better now? Is this better now?
Just a little bit here, but the sound is
Still very, there's still noise, right? All right, just give me, okay. So they said it's still better.
so. Our moderator, our speaker has been taking us through AI in marketing, talking about his experience from Jumia. So that is to show us that AI is not something that has come that just come in. So that is something that has been an underground something that has been in place. It's just that the generative AI aspect uh does disrupt just bring about some changes to that. And to what you have been saying, I also want us to know that our use of search engines and co is also a little bit of AI works. The way we search our Google, that it will bring up some information. So we have there's this thing that Google we say call out, so that we go to web pages of different sites and then assemble them into uh, and assemble them together. So those things, when you search maybe a particular topic, it will just scroll into that web page and then bring you such information. Okay, okay. It's like it's on motion, and it will be there in just
Yes, it needs 5
15
minutes. He
minutes time.
wants to get to the car for better sound. Yeah, I mean, maybe I can continue what I was saying the other time, like a kind of recap, right?
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes, I mean,
Everyone
from what I...
can hear me. Is it better now?
Okay, good. It's back.
Is it better
Yeah.
now?
Yeah, I think it's cool now.
All right. So, okay, this space is very quiet. So, sorry, I really
The sound is not balanced. If you are maybe if you're in a car, I don't know. Can you? I don't know. Maybe
all
if you
right.
can change your device, it you know it comes
All right.
and it's like it's yeah.
Okay, okay. Let me change my device then. I will
I
log
think
in
it's
and log
better.
out.
Better yeah. Okay, I mean, like I said before previously, right? AI is artificial intelligence. That phrase was first coined in 1954 when some researchers met in, I think it was in Dartmouth College in the US. That was the first time the whole idea of AI came up. And, so it was about, as you can see, it's artificial intelligence. So humans have intelligence. Okay, yeah, our speaker is back. So let me just see the floor. Thanks.
Okay, can I confirm that you can hear me better? Like, is it better now?
Yes.
Is it better? Oh, right.
Yes.
Okay. So,
Yes,
so
sir.
sorry about the break. So, I was talking about AI and some domains. It could be healthcare, it could be e-commerce, it could be logistics, it could be whatever domain you can think of. You can see even in geography, or I'll use the word, is it geography? Or those that do geospatial, you know, guys that do a lot when it comes to even in education. Thank you. Very that. So you see that there's a whole lot here. One of the things you are looking, and this is how I mentioned that AI in health.
The sound is gone again.
Can you hear me? All right. Is it better now?
Yes, it's better now. It's better now.
I feel that it's my AirPod. Maybe I should move it.
I think so too.
All right, can you hear me better now? This is not AirPod. This is just. Uh,
Very clear.
oh, very
Yeah, very
clear.
good.
All right. So I'm just going to speak. This place is less noisy. You might just hear just a bit background noise. So pretty much what AI is doing in different spaces, different domain. I talked about healthcare, even in cancer prediction. Do you understand? And I'll give an instance. Oh, my forefather had stroke. Do you understand? There's a recurrent health issue. What AI can do in that case is to predict, you know, your current issue and also see that your, can predict and also alternate that in your own present person. Give an instance whereby, okay, you have a recurrent healthcare problem, and you can look at your child and say that, okay, what are the things that contributed to those health issues? I tell you the fact that this are what AI is doing. It can predict that you or your parent having stroke or cancer, you might not have it by also looking at some factors that contributed to us. There's a whole lot of prediction before your emergence. I'm trying to use a Bible, I'm not like call it now a very, very nice word for that, right? So you see one of the things I read about research in Google DeepMind, you see a lot of work has been done in cancer research, although they are getting there in terms of prediction, in terms of precision of treatment. You see that's what AI is doing. AI can do a lot in healthcare, a whole lot. In fact, when I read about what guys are the breakthrough, because most of the things that is actually blinding our sight when as Nigerians is reading the news on how to, you know, do pictures, nano banana and all that. But there's a whole lot of evolution that is happening in terms of research, right? And that's the space I love reading research about what AI is doing in research. Guys in India, what they are doing. I read a lot of papers, and you will see a lot of things that is possible, not just on paper, right? But what is also adoptable. I know there's a lot of ethics around, adopting it in real life. Yeah, definitely. But if you have the chance, if you have the resources, and also funding, you can deploy those solutions as it were. Another thing again is this: AI is now has made pushing an idea of a product. Okay, I have an idea I want to push. It's quicker for you to scale. You're not waiting for 6 months to say, okay, how do I probably, measure traction? There's no time. You can build the metric around every future of that product. Whereby you can generate feedback ASAP, right? And quickly, all those metric of LTV, lifetime values of that product, it can be done real time. So you know what you are doing, you know what's not working, you can quickly scale. That's why you see that there's a whole lot of investors are not even pushing on, are not interested in, any, they are still invested in traditional product. But you see, if there's AI there, they know that it can quickly scale and there's a possibility that it can grow faster. Do you get that? In marketing, we can see AI in marketing whereby it can predict those that are searching for that kind of a product. Not for when you're running Google Ads. You see that one of the things you are doing in the makeup of that structure is that you're adding words, keywords like I want to sell a shirt, or probably I'll give an instance, I want to sell sneakers, right? You know that my target market, like kind of words should be shoes, sneakers. So if you type sneakers on Google, the ad will just start showing. Do you understand? So those are the things. So AI has not been now; it has been there a long time. Do you understand? Those intelligence around product has actually helped to scale faster. So I'm still talking about domains and how you can see. Somebody was asking me a very pretty good question and said, Dami, you are in AI space. So how do I? He said something very funny. He said, can AI actually solve bad roads in Nigeria? And it's actually a very weird answer, very weird thought. And I'm like, no, it can't solve that because, bad roads are solved by actually, you grading the road. So AI might not solve that. But you see, one of the things AI can solve in that, if you're in that logistics space, is managing people's expectation, right? You can build an AI agent system that can give instant response. You can go to sleep as somebody who is managing that system, or probably you are a web manager. You don't necessarily need to always be online to give responses. You know that okay, if the bike person is not delivering 10 minutes before that, there's a prompt message that says to the user that say, oh, hold on. You manage people's expectation with prompt messages and SMSs. And that's pretty good way of, because I hate one thing, I'm in the office and I bought that food at Glovo or one of those apps. And I'm seeing that you are close by, but I'm not seeing that you are there. Do you understand? But if you send me a prompt that, oh, sorry, there's going to be a bit 3 minutes delay. I say, oh, so sorry. Those things can actually help in terms of managing expectation. Let's look at human resources, right? You push out a job and you have like 100 persons that apply for the job, right? And you need to look through all those 100 CV with your grace and anointing. You don't need that, right? So if you can build an intelligence system that can give quota factors and say that okay, this is definitely what you're looking for, right? You want somebody who studied in Harvard, you want somebody that has this kind of skill set that actually shows work and metric. Because most of us don't even know how to write CVs. You write CVs that doesn't show what you have done and what you did, right? In terms of how you have improved, those metrics are what we are looking for. Okay, I worked as a key account manager at Jumia. So what did I do? I increased 10% sales from this to this within this time frame. So if the system can read those metrics, it can screen you into the next phase. Do you understand that? So see that AI can do a lot. So HR is not going to be disturbing himself reading through. So if let take for instance you have 1,000 person apply for a growth manager job at Google, it has screened maybe 500 person. Then the next stage is sends a message for you guys to do a test. It screens to 100. Do you understand? So it's automated. It makes things more quicker, and you can get things done faster. Before I go into another aspect of AI, I want to do a kind of a retract on what Prof was talking about. When Mr. Israel was asking a question about our other fields, computer vision is also a very exciting space. I love that space because that's one of the things I'm currently doing, and I'm currently building a kind of food app. It's called Miro, whereby it can identify African food data sets. So, one of the goals I'm trying to do is to get at least how I can annotate close to 5,000 images. I currently have 1,000 image of Nigerian food, which I did myself. I've been on this project for like a few months ago. I'm looking at, how can I get 1,000 from Ghana? Let's just see what we can build with this. Let's identify that, okay, this phone, this application can just identify that, okay, this food is called wanche in Ghana. Do you understand? I can also estimate, okay, this food has 30%, this is what's going to do in my body and all that. Do you know what that will do in terms of, that's a recommender system. Even in healthcare, right? It can also tailor, take for instance, it can tailor help patients who are recovering and saying that, okay, if you're a stroke patient, you know that you don't need to take salty food. I'm also looking at how can one actually, do it that in such a way. You just begin to ask questions and see who has worked on this project before. So there is a whole lot that can be done with AI, and it's possible, that you can work with 1,000 images and identify them, and move to 5,000, and move to 10,000 images, and say, okay, this is how a wedu looks like. When you see a wedu leaf, this is what it looks like. This is an ewedu soup. This is stew soup. This is bomo. This is egg roux. Do you understand? All those things can be worked on, and that's what AI can, and like I said, AI can quickly solve problems. So computer vision is also very interesting. You see computer vision in terms of surveillance, right? Whereby it can give real time. Now, surveillance in the back then has changed. Surveillance before back then is whereby it can record, right, and it can it can do a real time recording of what's happening in your store or probably your church and all that. Do you know what surveillance has actually moved into right now? It's doing the work. It's now becoming predictive. It's not descriptive again. It's not, surveillance is not saying, oh, this is Damilola, then you now go and search. No, predictive in the sense that surveillance can actually look at it can picture your face and route, go ahead and look at everything you've searched and predict the kind of person you are and give a sense of, okay, who is this guy? What has he searched? Do you get that? I will give us an assignment. Go on ChatGPT and ask a very simple question and say, ChatGPT, based on the things I'm searching, what kind of person am I? You see that ChatGPT has been able to gather data based on the kind of question you have been asking. If you're a professor, you are somebody who is very interested in tech, it will definitely give you an insight. Okay, I think you are this kind of person. I think you are this kind of person. And that's what data is. And let me say one thing, data is the foundation of AI. Data is the foundation of AI. Think AI, you're thinking data, you're thinking data governance, and that's where the real work is. That's where the real work is. I don't know if anyone can hear me. Please, can I get some emojis so that I know that we're following? Hello? All right, all right, all right, all right. So I will be moving straight to um, some key three perspective of AI that that we should all know about. Just give me some moments. I'm trying to look at my screenshots because I had some screenshots saved. All right. So I'll be explaining how AI is transforming the workplace. And I will be speaking that in three contexts: generative AI, assistant as an assistant, AI assistant, and the third one is agentic AI. And yeah, so I'll do that in the next 20 minutes before we move to another aspect, which is building with AI. So, how is AI transforming healthcare? So, there are three contexts. Everything I've just explained falls into that three category: AI assistance, generative AI, and the third word is agentic AI. So, as much as you are seeing a lot of things online, okay, there is also something I also want to discuss. I pray I don't forget. It's also what we call AI governance, and those companies are actually frontiering AI emergence, right? And if you know very well that USA and China are the forefront, right? So they are the guys at the forefront, dictating where we are at in that space. That okay, wow, ChatGPT is today and DeepSeek is tomorrow, and everybody's saying that okay, who is building the best model when it comes to image generation? Who's building the best model when it comes to video generation? You see all that online, and just note one thing: all boils down to three things: generative AI, agentic AI, and AI assistant. All of them fall into that three category. Currently, that's all we are doing. And yeah, so what's generative AI? Generative AI, like what Prof had just explained to us, is generative AI is basically um, the wave currently where you can make a prompt and the large language model can contextualize your prompt and give you feedback in three feedback. It could be in content, it could be in video, it could also be in image. It doesn't go past that. It's not going to give you food. So AI is not going to produce a food. Do you understand? But it definitely, I think it can get to that point. And do you know that there's also what we call AI chips? I'm going to send a document. The picture I made is all close to 20. You would learn about AI chips. There are AI chips, and that is where you see that. Okay, President Trump actually invested $500 billion. It's called the company is called Seagate in Texas, and it's more like a data center, right? And there's a whole lot of things that comes into play, in terms of chips. You can imagine these chips are quite expensive. And that's where Africa is actually backward. Like we are just here turning our images to nano bananas and all that. But the chips are going to do a lot in terms of Medicare, whereby the future of healthcare would not be human beings. Can you hear me? Yeah, the future of healthcare will not you not be interfacing with human beings, right? And these chips will do a lot in terms of precision. Do you get that? The prediction will be so much whereby somebody who has cancer can go in and we know that at the rate of coming back, this will be successful, this will not be successful. There are robots that are actually making children currently that you just need to, and they will incubate for 9 months. And that's the world we are coming into. And I can tell you for a fact, for free, it's not a world that you are envisaging. It's going to happen. Do you understand? It's going to happen whereby we are prepared, whereby we're not prepared. It's already happening right in our face, right? Right. So AI is not just what we are going to be preparing for. I'm saying that come on board. There's a whole lot whereby you begin to build your skill set. So generative AI is where you can do a lot. I'll give you an instance. I was at Yapi last year. Yapi is a program for people that are interested in animation. Right now, animation is not that hard as before. Do you understand? Script writing. Just write the script, follow the script, go to View 3.0 on Gemini, and you'll be able to create an amazing video and whatever idea you have in terms of animation. And in fact, let me say on that thing that is also funny. I was sharing something with you. I said, do you know that you can you hear me? Can everyone hear me, please? All right. If you can hear me, please. Okay, yeah, thank you very much. you could realize that. And just in animation alone, if you are in that space and you want to build a career in animation, and you're looking at Blender, how do I start learning how to craft this and that? You are wasting time. Just join. I know a lady who is in Yapi. If you see her videos, very, very amazing. Right now, we're working on a project, and I said, let's break down this code of learning tools. Do you know that if you can hack the skill set of using GPT for modeling characters, it's in fact that's the goal. You are in fact animation will suffer in your hand. You just use those codes, and that is all. Do you understand? So anyone who has a very good skill in script writing can actually make a film without doing much, right? But definitely AI would actually make things you can. The world is in your hand. You can make it happen. Like what Prof was saying. My lady friend was telling me something and said, "Damn, I don't see any reason why you're not creating content." And I saw how easy it was even to create content. So I was like, okay, where should I start? Should I start on TikTok? Do you know it's so easy to create content right now? Just tell ChatGPT to outline how you want it. Put them into context. That is all. You have started creating content, and that is before you know. Prof said he started creating content last year. Do you know? In fact, do you know how hey the growth that would actually make? I mean, the profit that would make in many years to come, and how simple it is just stay on camera, teach. It might not even need to raise it. There are a lot of tools that it can use to make it work without doing anything. Right. So AI has actually even made building products very easy. I was talking to my student recently and I said, do you know that you can actually build an app without doing too much? Just go on Figma, design the template, look for plugins, super bases there. Try to just put everything together. You will make mistakes, no problem. There's a product we are trying to work on, which is a rental. It's a land banking product. My guy did not do anything. He just pitched. What he just pitched was an AI product, and that was workable. That's all you need to pitch to invest. Okay, can this work? Will it not work? And you can scale fast. Whatever idea you have, you can quickly push it and see if it's work because of AI, right? You can use Gemini, and then even coding. But I would say something, guys that are programmers or developers, I would say that I still prefer anybody who is coming on board who is a developer or a computer science student. Please learn foundational programming. It's core. Honestly, you need to be very sound in those things before you start using because you are building systems that are you're looking at architecture in terms of security, in terms of accessibility, and all those key contexts you are looking at, all those frameworks. So you want to naturally program from the core. Even that's what we do at the lab. We don't use Gemini and all that. We code from the core. We want to see how we can build from the core so that because when you begin to use all these AI tools and all that, it's not, I would say it's not, it's assume it's not tenable, right, on the long run. So there are a lot of things you are looking at, and that's what generative AI is all about. You can make videos, you can make images. As a designer, I designed something yesterday or next day, and everyone was saying, "Ah, this is beautiful, this is nice," and I said it was just AI. It was easy. I downloaded this image from AI, and you can design a whole magazines from 1 to 20. I do that for my mission program when I go to the north, and they are begging, Dami, we love the way you design these things. Like it's so, and it's AI. What I just do is that I download my image, generate content, put everything together, and make becomes a masterpiece, right? So that's pretty much an AI assistant. I've spoken about generative AI, and we also have agentic AI. I think I will spend so much time on the agentic AI because that's looking at, that's basically what people is talking about. Everybody's trying to build an agent AI, and also see how they can integrate that in what they are doing in their offices and all that. So first off is this agentic AI. I'll talk about agentic AI. I want to talk about assistant AI as an assistant tool. As a programmer, you can actually use an assistant tool as an AI. We have so many like that whereby it can look at your code, look at the error, and help you frame it well. And we also we have the trade-offs, like I mentioned earlier about companies that are frontiering this AI tool, and also the country that are also contributing to the push of this product. First off, US, China. We also look at Google, which is a big, Alphabet, which is a big company that's actually been pushing research. If you're interested in research, in fact, talk to people who can actually help you to. There's a lot of funding that goes to people that are interested in research. They can fund your idea if you are interested in that space. And yeah, Anthropic is also on that company that is also big. Anthropic, and doing a lot in terms of their models and all that. If you've heard about Hugging Face, there are a lot of models that they have also in their platform. You can use them when you want to build, right? A lot of LLMs, over 1,000 on that platform. Yeah, so pretty much AI has made a lot of things easy. And I also talk about computer vision. And if you're asking, okay, how will I identify those images? We have a lot of resources like RoboFlow. RoboFlow can be used to identify images, right? And you can identify those images and also do a lot of work on those, identify them, put names on them, put them into context, identify, just give names and work on that. So there's a whole lot, there's a lot of space. What I want to establish in this webinar is to open your eyes to see what AI is currently doing in every space, and you can also definitely move into any field and say, where should I start from? Where should I build from? Where can I start? How can I move? What career path? Well, even if you're studying food, there is a space in AI. If you are doing content, there is a space in AI that can fit you and you can just join. So AI is just a leverage. Like any technology tool will come. AI is a leverage. So just take it on and say, okay, um, I'm interested in research, I'm interested in engineering space of AI. You can always begin to, pivot your career in that space. And I can tell you, there is a lot of money that comes into play, right? Annotation is also another space, right, whereby you can annotate data, like what we are doing at AI4B. We're trying to annotate a lot of images and see, okay, this is what Amala looks like, this is what Eba looks like, this is what water looks like, this is what Gary looks like, this is what yam looks like, this is what fried yam looks like. Annotation is also beyond food image, identifying food. Annotation is, you can also annotate pictures, pictures, or let's take for instance African data set or Nigerian data set that is not generic, right? You could have images of clothing line adire, so that when the LLM is trying to identify that cloth, it's not saying that it's something else when it's, we also have another thing called the buyers of this space. So I'll just be saying it in context so that we can get a glimpse. If you have any questions, just prepare them for me. Yeah, and yes, so another space also that is very interesting is AI ethics. AI ethics is one space that is very, 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 very big currently. I was sharing with my younger sister who studied philosophy. I was saying that, do you know that this is big for you? Do you know what it means to be studying philosophy as a traditional course and also moving to AI ethics? Because you understand philosophy of man, right? You understand what this system can do in terms of harm, and you understand the philosophical framework. So your job, if you are get a job in any tech firm or any AI firm, yours is to make that system tick ethically, whereby it doesn't start suggesting wrongly. Do you get? Like I mentioned, I say if you ask LLM how you think, LLM can actually give an insight of how you think and how intelligent you are based on the things you have been asking you previously for over 6 months, right? So AI ethics is one space also that it's also very, very lucrative. When I say AI ethics is that what these guys do is that they pretty much, study the ethics of how, it's just like in computer science when we say human computer interaction. HCI is one aspect that is very interesting, whereby you're looking at how human interact with computer systems, and how they interact intelligently, how they interact ethically, whereby it doesn't cause harm, right? So you don't want to build a healthcare product or a recommender system for who can prescribe drug to a patient and injure that patient. Do you understand? So you are looking at it ethically. Where does the bus stop in terms of restrictions? Do you understand? So AI ethics is also another thing. You can say you want to pick AI ethics. You can go do PhD in AI ethics. And in fact, a lot of these frontier companies are bringing ethics into what they're bringing into whatever products they are building. And in fact, in the core of things, there is also what we call the EU Act in AI ethics, whereby there is a gathering of, I'll call it gathering of elites who have said we need to bring order into this evolution of AI so that we can contain it. Imagine somebody sitting somewhere who has an algorithm that can predict how the stock exchange work. Do you understand? So you that are just sitting at the corner, you really don't know so much. You are just investing $10,000 and all that. But this guy knows where the bus stops, right? So we are looking at the ethics of AI financially and also in the legal system, right? So because if you build an AI, an intelligence system, a legal intelligence system, it can predict a lot of outcome based on, how this judge has always, probably delivered judgment, and you can see to it. So we're looking at ethics is also very, very interesting part of AI, right? Now, and take for instance in loan, loan, because I know that Israel's all the money Israel has in his bank account is not up to 1 million naira. So I would sublime him. I would use the word. You see, let me use the word. So I can predict that this guy will not. He's not going to pay my loan, right? And you see that in banking too. That you see that AI can, I mean, machine learning algorithm can actually determine how much I can pay. I can actually, give you as a loan based on your, there's something we call a credit score, your ability to, use that money or probably refund it. Yeah. So there's a whole lot of things that AI has come to do in terms of ethics. So that field is also very interesting. We also have what we call AI governance. AI governance and ethics is also a very, very interesting space. AI governance is basically how AI is being governed in a workspace. It could be a workspace, it could even be government in terms of, okay, say for instance, Nigerian governments are adopting AI in their practices. So you want to see what are the frameworks that will determine the governance of how we are using this intelligence system in such a way whereby it is interpreting our culture and it's actually pushing our political views forward and not harming it, right? So we have AI governance, AI ethics. We also have what we call AI research. And AI research is in the field I am currently on. So AI research is very interesting. You could work on AI research in NLP, whereby you're looking at languages. I think I shared a story earlier on that what I currently also do something when I go for not when I go to the north, what I do is I do interviews with people that are undocumented. So I'm building a very, very robust database system whereby the areas whereby they are not on Google, like I'll give an instance. I was in Bauchi this year, and there's a place called Siri in Bauchi. It's a very small town, and we have like that small community towns, like 80 of them in Bauchi. It's not on Google. If you check them, it's not on Google. And Siri speaks Sirawa, Zulu speaks Zulawa, different Hausa language, and they have different culture, right? And it's beautiful. They have very funny culture whereby they come, those stories you read, Night Moonlight. So imagine you having a system like that whereby you can always check about Nigeria and also all those undocumented um, emerging communities in those spaces. It's beautiful. You could do that in terms of research, whereby you can bring natural, you can change their language into English and also do language, English to their language. It's so interesting whereby so evangelists can say, okay, the Lord is sending me to Bauchi. What language should I speak? They can come to that platform, that kind of LLM, and learn the language before they approach that space. We're also looking at, okay, can we also bring a map into it? How does the security look like, so that people are actually having a sense of, I don't go to these places in this period. I also have an understanding of the culture. I also learned that I shouldn't hold a woman, sorry about the noise, that I shouldn't hold a woman when I'm in the north, and that I'm very careful. I don't hold a woman by the right hand when you are in the north. Number two, you're also very careful that when you're talking to the young girls, make sure that you are not the only one there. I'm more like two or three guys, right? You'll be surprised that the husband might just be a very young guy that is about 13 years or 14 years old boy. So now, how would I know if those knowledge are not documented? So having that intelligence system just makes things so easy, right? So I'd mentioned AI assistants, generative AI, and also the last one. I'm going to be dwelling on agentic AI because that is basically what every workspace or every um, company are trying to say. Okay, let's bring agentic AI to what we have in our system. But first off, one of the things you also need to realize as somebody who is building companies is that you want to ask yourself that, why do I need AI, right? What workflow am I automating, right? So in my PDF, which I would share in the group, you would realize that I wrote something so much about automation. So what's automation? Automation is just, I am away, system do what I should do when I'm away. So that's pretty much it. So that's automation. So automation is saying that I can actually build a system whereby that can automate so many tasks without me present, and can solve problem without my presence. So that's pretty much it. So automation has been very loud, and you see that every company is trying to build their own automation system using agentic AI. You see Google saying that they are running a five. If you go online, you see that agentic AI is just the same anywhere. It's still the same system of understanding prompt engineering, context, and all that, and understanding the framework and using small tools, adding them together to automate workflows. Now, here's where it's sellable. You are looking at systems like e-commerce, whereby there's a lot of workflow. You want to automate your transactions, or take for instance, you're somebody who has a very small shopping store, and what you sell, you have a website for that, and you actually literally do not want to always interact with people on WhatsApp. You can automate those answers. Okay, what do you want to buy? The system can answer those questions. What do you want to buy? And you build in such a way by, you have a lot of content about queries and queries and queries, that, okay, the person asks this question, this is what you should give. The person asks this question, this is what you should give. Are you following? And the person, and the prompts can also, or the query response can also give feedback on payment and say, okay, pay to this account, and you can also verify payment. Now, all these things I'm saying, it is not jargons. It's not that they are doing it in UK, they are not doing it in US. No, these things is, how will I call it? This thing is integratable, it is solvable. I can do it. If you ask me to help you do that, I can do it in 2 hours or 3 hours, depending on what you want to do. If you want to build anything, it's possible. It's not, don't see it like, oh, it's something that we need to do. No, 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 no. You can solve it. You yourself, if you sit down, watch a YouTube video, you can automate a lot of tasks. It's not a big, not a, don't look at it from a very high standpoint of view, right? So there was a client that I'm working for, and she sells baby clothes, and she was like, oh, and she was just trying to get feedback on where I stop on her website. Pretty much, I told her I was building something like an Amazon for her. When she saw it, she was loving it because she sells wear clothes. So I love how you turned the clothing line. And basically, what I did was this: in the carousel of our images, where you want to buy our clothes, I have babies, African babies that wear those clothes using, I just use Perplexity to check, to change the images. And so every customer who wants to buy on that platform can actually look at, okay, I think I like this. This will be look good for my boy. I love this shirt. So they have a feel of what they are buying because they can see samples of that item on human being. Do you understand? So it's so very interesting that you can build. And also now that AI has made building products very easy. Yours is to make sure that you do a lot of foundation in terms of understanding how systems work, in terms of authentication. What of if you have issues of login, if somebody tries to log in, and if you are building a fintech product, I'd recommend that you actually have real engineers to work on such products. All right, I think I'm wrapping up. I'll just take a break for like 5 minutes to just confirm if everyone is hearing me. Then I'll come back in next 5 minutes.
Uh, well done, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Are you not there?
Yes.
Hello. All right. Before he comes back, I just want us to share maybe one or two things. If any of us have maybe some questions about maybe a particular topic you are focusing on, and we need the clarity on it, so that I can continue.
I mean, I don't know if this is session with questions too, but if you can address something like, so maybe there's someone in this webinar right now who is a total novice to the concept of AI. How do they start? Where should they start from? How should they progress?
Oh, okay, all right. When it comes back, it's going to just a note on that. I don't know if there is anyone that wants to ask a question. Okay. Finding that so far so good. From what you have said so far, I would just like us to the first thing is that AI is creating new jobs. I want us to know that before we continue, AI is creating new jobs. It's not taking our job. So from what you have said so far, I could before that AI is creating new jobs. It talks about animation, whereby if you don't have an idea of animation before, that is starting with Blender and other tools needed for animation, then you can start with AI. You can start with AI. That is, there's a way you can build up yourself and then become a mentor. And then we also, there are different things they are highlighted. There are different things they are highlighted. It talks about, as AI is even growing, it talks about the AI ethics and AI governance that is taking up on all this that oversees the use of all this AI. So it's also another kind of career. It's also another kind of career to look into. And then another thing I want us to note is that we talked about this earlier on, that it improves productivity and efficiency. I like in the loan company, before most loan companies, maybe they might be much loss due to people not paying their loan on time and or not even paying at all. But now due to AI, predict or shorten those calls, whereby you can tell if a customer will be able to pay the loan. Part of this is also part of it. And okay, I have questions actually. Before we continue, that in okay, let me put it like this: in healthcare, that is it possible that AI can I don't know, maybe complement some work? Let me take for example, in a rural area where there has not been access to facilities like lab for testing and all that, and they need testing to for immediate treatment and all that, but no lab, no vehicles, even for referral or things like that. And then coupled with the bad roads again, uh, I don't know if AI can. Is there a way whereby AI can come into else in such in such areas. In such areas. That's my question. I don't know if anyone has a question. Any point where we need clarity?
All right. So
Okay.
I don't know if you can hear me. Can I go ahead?
Yes, I can. Yes, you can go ahead, sir.
All right. So very very good question. Our prof mentioned something. Where do I start from? First thing, I'll give you two things. You want to learn AI, or probably start thinking, where do I start from? Where am I now? First thing, go and watch Prof's video on Python. It's funny, bro. Go and learn Python, honestly. Like, and it's funny why, because I remember I started picking early this year. I took my math serious. That's if you are looking at, you want to go into machine learning, engineering, AI engineering. You want to build serious product. Like, you want to make, you want to really really go into the core of the hard work of it. Please go and watch. We also have a kind of course. There's a program called Python for Everyone. Please, and like I said, go and watch Prof's videos on Python. It was so simple. Go and learn Python. Python is your go-to language. Can everyone hear me?
Yes. In fact, in fact, I curated my data analysis because I know that's the foundation to all these things.
Oh,
So I started with
exactly.
even
Yeah.
Microsoft Excel, then Python basics, 60 videos
Yeah.
step by step, even if you know nothing at all in Python,
Exactly.
and so on. Yeah.
Guys, I almost cried early this year. So I won't say I was lucky. I got into a research fellowship early this year, and it was the best thing that happened. I was I would say that I was among the best brains in the AI space. I mean, guys that are actually doing so much in the AI space. These guys are good. I mean, they are one of the best brains. I mean, I would say that. I would say that these guys are just good in the fellowship. But one of the things that stood out for me was that, thank God for computer science background, because you'll be lost in class. The guys that took us were the guys in Google DeepMind. Imagine you having someone like Afonja come teach you on class. This girl is amazing. Her field is in privacy and research, and she's good. I mean, Afonja is great at what she does. And I found Prof's resources very, very useful. I started taking math serious, like serious maths. You need to go and learn all those differential equation. I'm laughing, but if I show you my notes, you'll be like, "Oga, are you? I don't understand. What are you guys doing? It's not coding. It's not like that, though. In machine learning, you know system foundations, you need to learn a lot of math. And the lab I currently work, doctor would give us a lot of materials on math. We need to work on a lot of solving mathematics, because those are the foundations of the things you're seeing, right? And it shows you the patterns of how language are being encoded and all these things. So if you're looking at the brain, you're looking at the complexity. So what mathematical framework would describe the brain? Do you understand? So you have to really do a lot of math work. So I had to go to props material. I'm saying, I'm sure he's hearing for the first time, and yeah, we have a program for Python for everyone. If I'm even looking
I'm
forward to
shocked.
seeing that, well, yeah, I'm looking forward to bringing Prof on board. Now we need to teach people that they need to really, and to be sincere, I think online currently, because I don't like to always go around to look for. Prof's material on Python is powerful. There was a material I saw on Prof's platform. It was like 1 to 30. It was just building small basic Python program, because I know if you go to data camp now, it's boring. But just okay, how to build small, probably a snake game, how to do this. Just learn those things. Start with that. Start with using for loop. That's in fact, if I ask you to build an AI products now, there's also a part whereby you need to use the code part and the integration systems and all that, how to use. You won't know that if you have not learned the root, the basics of Python. So if you want to learn anything AI, start with Python. I'm talking about professionals now. Start with Python. Now, and how do you move? Join a community. You can join RBF. Join RBF. I'm going to be sending the resources I developed recently is actually very powerful. So I don't know what happened to my laptop, right? I think I need to get an Apple system. And I'm not saying I think I'm already getting that because the Olama just to install Olama alone is very very large. That's a Olama is actually a Facebook large language LLM. It's so large that it's over 40 gig. So I think that's what's crashing my PC. So I need to upgrade my laptop. Right. So start with that. Start with Python, and don't get eroded. Just stay in one community. Don't be flying around. Don't forget the stay in one place, and also leverage fellowship programs. I always send that to my group AI4B. There's a lot of fellowship programs that are coming up. Join them. You know, and they pay money. My fellowship program, they paid me money. I'm also looking forward to applying for under fellowship program, to see how I can leverage. Yeah, yeah. I'm currently, in fact, this time around, I'm not doing it in Nigeria. You'll be surprised. I'm moving out of this country to run the next fellowship program. So leverage fellowship program. If you need help, feel free to ask any question on RBF. Chat me up because most of the time I realize that opportunities are there. People don't know how to actually apply for this fellowship. Even you don't your CV is not depicting someone who actually wants the fellowship slot because there are things there's a lot of resources probably share. There are things these guys are looking for in this research fellowship, right? That you get into their interview and imagine me getting like I've never imagined me to get into eating because the doctor actually director of the lab is actually one of the smartest women I've ever met. For a woman to be a neuroscientist, her head is somewhere else. So the point I'm trying to make is that join a community, ask questions, be curious, start with that, start with the basics, start with Python. That's where the goal is. If you want to learn Python and you need a community, feel free. If you want to learn on your own, ask me questions on the LBF group. Ask Prof has the best resources, and I know why. Because I think what Prof did in his materials is that he understands the Nigerian terrain. Although Prof is in Japan, so you understand, and I can tell you the truth. I can't I can't deal with all these Americans resources when it comes to coding because these guys can bore you for 2 hours. I don't have that energy, right? Yeah, I did computer science, but I don't do long hours. I just spend 1 hour. This is the task I'm doing for today. I practice 2 hours every day, and that's all. I don't need to. But probably the way you contextualize the material, it just helps you. Read his materials, go on YouTube, join a community, resources, and you need a mentor. I shouldn't lie to you. That one is inevitable. I have mentors in career. I can tell you the truth. Like I just have not gone to the UK not because of anything. I've been sent admission many times, and I didn't really come out with the best result in school, right? And not in management though. Like they gave me a very good course. I showed them my work experience and what I could do, and they're like, "Oh, we need you. Come school." So there are opportunities out there. So if you are looking at going into AI, first thing first thing you need to ask yourself, what space, understand the space. And I think one of the goals of this webinar is to understand the spaces you can evolve into. And as an adult, you can evolve into AI ethics and you will get jobs. I tell you the truth. Now let me say on that aspect that is very interesting that you will not believe. It's also language. Some of you knows how to speak Ekiti very well. If I can tell you that Ekiti language you can speak is an added advantage for you, you will not understand. There are jobs in that space in AI whereby you can annotate language for them. A lot of people are building LLMs for language. Ekiti alone, we have Isekiti, Isenyi Ekiti, all of those things. But people are looking for where I can actually feel like I'm in a space whereby I'm connected. Not that you're just staying there, you say, no, 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 no. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So you want to be in that space whereby you can connect with people and also leverage on the advantages of what they are doing culturally. People are building LMs for culture, and there is money. They are funding for it. A lot of people are just going to say, okay, I love this project. it's something that is beautiful for our culture. I will send you $50,000 to develop it, right? So do you understand? What you just need is just community that can share those information. I can tell you for a fact that you can use prompt engineering very well as a customer service. In fact, check all the Google career. I went to Google career recently and I saw that most of their jobs role is AI tilted. You must have AI experience. And AI experience, it's just that I love the research space because the research space is actually thrilling. Unlike the workspace whereby everybody's asking me, what's your KPI? We are doing work every day. We are solving, yeah. So I just love research. So if you are interested in research, ask questions. Like I think Prof is in, Prof is a lecturer, so he can always deal with that. So if you're a student, feel free to ask questions. Go to ask questions on the RBF group and you can start from there. Opportunities are there. You can start with Python. And also, I finally want to say this on that question that please don't wait until you have everything. Don't wait until you have everything. When I got into the research fellowship, my idea was on the eye. And when I went through it, I had to tailor it down. The only thing I could come out from that research fellowship was a very outstanding abstract. Because most of the things I wanted to do that sounded very novel, I didn't have the resources to do it. But that was also the thing that brought me into eating the lab. When the doctor saw what I did, he said, "Wow, you're not even a medical person, but this is actually very nice. Your research is innovative." And she said, "Okay, I'm going to bring the best brains to work on your project together." John, that's a continuity. Even my thought, I can tell you for a free that I'm moving out from that fellowship program to continue that same research because I'm just interested about the brain. Do you understand? So it's something when you're curious about something, ask questions, and it also broadens your space to learn, right? Like I literally learned how to back then in school I wasn't very interested in coding. It was my own. Like I just want to, do IT and leave it. But right now, that's where my head is buried because you also need to learn how to code, also understand LLMs, how these LLMs are made, and that's pretty much what I research. I research about LLMs and see how we can improve them, see them from the perspective of ethics, governance, every aspect, and also see that Africa is not left behind in this, in this story. So that's pretty much on that. So I want to finally wrap up in the next 10 minutes so that if you have any questions, Prof too is see, Prof has a whole lot to say. Anyone in the educational space even has more advantage than people in the in the workspace. I can tell you for free because the frontier companies are even having they have direct resources to them, right? You realize that Google just even launched a very powerful platform for African students that can build with Gemini Pro, build anything, many web application, and it's easier to build anything. Whatever idea you are building, you just see 19 years old child, build this app. Do you get? And one of the things I'm trying to build with AI for B is that we're not just necessarily going to be doing webinars, but we're trying to see that okay, we can have a pilot project and say, okay, let's take this pilot project from 0 to 100 and let students see how products are being built, right? Say, okay, we are looking at Miro app. Okay, you annotate data, you design this. Let's do it simple. Let's see what's the feedback from people on LinkedIn. How is a product developed in AI and how is it accepted? What's the market value? How will people get investors? Do you understand that? So those are the things we are looking at. And pretty much like I said, the core thing is that you just need to keep asking questions. None of us know everything, right? And because of how broad AI is and its interdisciplinary nature, you can always find your space. Oh,
Hello, sir.
yeah, can you hear me? Sorry, please. A call was. So I'm just going to. Can you hear me, please? Can you confirm that you can hear me?
Yes,
All
we
right,
can,
all
sir.
right. So I'm just going to end with this in the next 10 minutes so that if we have any question, feel free to act. Like I tell you, when I get my PC back up, you would enjoy every piece that I did. I did a body of work because I know that people would want to learn a lot from where they find themselves. So I curated that material very well. So please, guys, just bear with me. The PDF will be sent. So I'm just going to talk about the last thing that has been very, very paramount, which is AI agents, the agentic AI. Now everybody is saying, okay, can we build an agentic AI for this? Now the question you want to ask yourself is that why am I building an agentic? Well, what's agentic AI? Let's even start from that. Is it a magic or is it a mirage? You know, um, now one of the things about agentic AI is this: agentic AI is just imagine that small child that came to stay with you people in your house because all of you are now adults and you cannot be washing plates in the morning. So just imagine that fine young child that is about 7 years old that your mother adopted. Do you understand? Just assume that that young girl is an agentic AI. So she just comes on board and she does the simple tasks of washing plates, clean the house. That's just what a agentic AI does. So it just takes care of tasks. It could be multiple tasks. Now you also need to identify the workflow. What kind of business are you doing? Where should I automate tasks? And why do I need agentic, an agent system to actually solve my problem? I'm going to read something that this man said. I think he's the founder of. His name is called Surojit Chatterjee. He actually built what we call Coinbase. I don't know if any one of us know about Coinbase. And this was what he said. He said this is a transformation moment for the entire industry. Like when computing first arrived, agents would replace people. They will make every employee a super employee. Do you understand? So now the agentic AI does not necessarily replace you as an human being. Do you understand? It just empowers you. And that's the reason that's the problem how people are when you say, AI is coming into place, it's going to kick me out. No, it's not kicking you out. It's just empowering you. It's giving you more leverage, and if you align very well, do you understand? Like, imagine me if I want to build Mirror Up, you think I'm going to employ 100 persons? I don't need 100 persons to build Mirror Up. I just need guys that, if the product is ready, I don't really need to do much. The only thing will just be the infrastructure in terms of public operations. If we're going to have a delivery system for people who are who's selling food, so that's where the manpower will actually come into place, because a lot of this will be so automated that life will be so easy. So yes, definitely it will lower the number of persons that will come on board. Now Bauchi, there's no light, there's no that, there's no day, there's no teacher, there's no school. Can we build a system whereby it's solar powered, whereby even if Boko Haram goes there looking for a teacher to kill, they will not see them? Can we have a robot there that can speak Sirawa and teach children how this thing, and they charge it with, because it's an high intensity sun ray in that place in Sirawa. The sun there is crazy. So can robots teach them within the time frame, and we now do a kind of review, go back there, and it's automated. Everything is automated. There's a solar panel system that actually powers their school system and makes every child learn. Their tabs are solar powered. They can autonomously do whatever they want to do without interfering with their religious systems. Right. So I think in that space, AI can actually come into place. Do you get? Yeah, defining the modern agent. Large language models aren't really agents. They don't know they are solving a problem. They just predict the next word. Now you see that there's a difference between LLMs and agentic AI. So what LLM does is to predict the next word. It's just like when you are typing something, probably you're typing something on your phone and the next thing is giving you feedback and saying, okay, you're saying this, so the next word should be this. And that's, even if you understand automata very well, it shows the feedback on, in terms of what do you call it, let's take for instance, you are looking at a sentence. You know that in descriptive sentence, a verb makes a sentence, right? After you have a subject, you have, let's say Dami is going to school. Dami with an auxiliary verb is going, which is an action word. You see that that's how these LLMs are built. They are built on semantic structures which are well encoded in numbers, in binaries. So pretty much how, but LLMs are different from agentic AI, which agents just solves tasks. Now the question: what tasks are they solving? They can solve the questions about automation. They can solve the tasks of saying they are sending prompts. They can solve the tasks of probably giving generative feedbacks, right? They can solve the tasks of analytics. Do you understand? Analytics in the sense that, okay, you spend 500,000 naira to running an ad, and you have built an agentic system to, okay, let's give an instance, a very practical system. I want to run an ad whereby I'm having a conference, AI for business application, whereby you want to get your focus is Unilag students and FUTA students. Now, I split my 500,000 naira into two. And let's say, okay, and I took 200,000. I said, I run the ads on 100,000 on Unilag student, I run the ads on 100,000 on FUTA student. Now, my agentic AI does one thing, it gives me feedback report on saying that, okay, this actually got the best feedback. Unilag student responded well. FUTA guys, he didn't respond well. Or let's say FUTA guys responded well, Unilag guys didn't respond well. You see that the analytics can actually help me to manage funding. I'll say, okay, why don't I invest more on Unilag student in terms of art? Because I know that this guys registered because I actually, let's take for instance, the kind of ad I actually ran was a lead generation, lead magnet ad, whereby I just put a bit. I want them to register, and you show that when you run the ad, so you see that it helps you save cost in all of that. So that's what the agent can do. Can you build one? Definitely. Why not? Can you build a chatbot? Definitely. Very simple. I can tell you the fact that these things are very easy to build, but you must understand the systems you are building. What system are you building traditionally? Are you building a website? What are you doing? So if you can understand the workflow of what you're doing, then it can give feedback. I'll give you an instance. We're trying to build but what we are trying to do is going to be launched maybe in the next few weeks. It's an edtech product, and I have somebody who is an admin person. I don't want that to start calling 5,000 students or probably parents that already got numbers from MTN. I don't need that. So what I would did was that I said, why don't we kind of create an onboarding workflow? And what does the onboarding workflow does? You're going to call just 100 persons, and while you are calling them, the prompt is going to send a WhatsApp message immediately. And what we do, that's all. And we built that, and it's solvable. We tried, okay, can we test this? This is going to work. That before the person say, please, can you talk to me later? We can solve this. Prompting, it just, anybody can check that on WhatsApp when they have time. So you see that it just makes things more easier. you know so let's look at some key content from code to customers. Data is democratized, discovery is accelerated, software is simplified. You're not waiting for software engineer and like, okay, will it crash? Or there's no, you don't have that energy. Now let me now say something. I want us to have a shift of mind. Do you know what AI has come to do? It has brought everyone to the playing field. Everyone can be a software engineer. Do you understand? That's what AI has come to do. So don't see that software engineer. No, my child will go. No, you can also be a software engineer, right? It's as easy. You can build any product. You can work on any project if you are actually serious about doing it, right? Uh, Now, Rob Willis still says something. So we don't need 20 apps. We need one interface for all of them. Rob Wilson is a pioneer in UX and AI and has led innovation initiatives for Apple. And what he was saying is that software is now more simplified, whereby a lot of things can be done on one single product. Do you understand? So you are not doing this for that, you're checking time for this. No, no, no. One can actually bring everything into one single product. And because of AI, right? Now, agents now assist the entire data science workflow. Now we are looking at how data is being moved from, data governance, data pipeline. It's just like I don't know anyone who is in data space here, right? Do you know how effective AI has actually brought into the space of data science? Now, the scripts framework whereby you are saying, okay, what's the business goal of this project? Okay, well, we want to make money. The idea of, okay, cleaning data, what's that framework? Exploratory data analysis. You are looking at, okay, what the business goal. Next thing is data cleaning. Next thing is data, we call it data, exploratory data analysis. Then you then file reports. All that framework can be done in a go in 30 minutes. Look at product like Power BI. All of them are now looking at, adding probably, helps in AI. So it makes things so easy. You're not going to a school to go and learn how to. Power BI is not even more interesting, whereby there is a tool that can actually walk you through, every feature in that product. Do you understand? I did a research for a lady, two ladies actually, and they were like, sir, please, sir, I'm going to submit this thing. And the person told me, he said, they asked us to use, there's this tool in the data science. I don't know if you guys know it, but it's very, very popular. SPSS. That's what she said. The lady did not even have data. Oh my God. And I built her. I said, I will do your research. Oh. Do you know I could do that research? I just used one of my paid AI tool. The analytics that I didn't even touch SPSS. It's very simple. I just told my LLM, please use SPSS, what do you call it, interface. And it came out very nice. Very nice. And this thing, analytics was so easy. So you can imagine that Haida was not really, I don't do analytics like before, but definitely like I do that with my LLMs. It's so easy. So, so easy because traditionally I know how analytics works. Now, how agents think, the new tech stack. Why are we, what's the AI stack is evolving from chat plus database to retrieval plus reasoning plus reinforcement. So there are three contexts that AI agents are actually focused on, which is retrieval, reasoning, and reinforcement, whereby this agentic AI can now begin to retrain themselves autonomously because of the kind of data you have filled it on it, and begin to start, making decisions without your own, it's just like now. One of the things that I loved my long-term project was to help neuroscientists to do a lot of predictions in terms of people who have. Okay, let me just tell you one of my novel projects is this. I've seen people who have seizure, brain seizure, and I'm like, how do we build a product whereby we can predict the next seizure? And we can predict in such a way whereby the person is not harmed. You see people just fall off because they have seizures. Can we create something novel whereby, and that's what I've been working on since January, researching, is there a tool? If Apple has that kind of tool, it's an amazing, the product is actually a very, very powerful thing that it can take your vitals. And if you have a kind of brain issue, because the brain problems are very, very, very powerful problems, right? They are very interesting problems. So predictions can actually be done whereby, you know, that tool can retrieve data of, bioinformations about the patient and say, okay, in the next 1 hour you might have the next seizure if you don't take this drug. It helps us to manage expectations, connecting knowledge to queries in real time, with something we call RAG, which is retrieval augmented, you know, generation. Is more like just your generative AI, kinda, and that field is still worth. So when you think agentic AI, looking at retrieval, you're thinking about reasoning, you're also thinking about reinforcement. I think that's the core area that we are currently talking about in AI. If you check everywhere, everybody's talking agentic AI. How can agentic AI be added to our workflows in our businesses? If it's a company, you can actually do a lot of work with agentic AI. Somebody who is working in HR startup, or probably you have an HR software, you can build an agentic AI system to your tool that can help feedbacks, right? And also book interviews with your candidates, right? So that's it. Agents aren't replacing humans, they are making every employee a super employee. So that's basically what agentic AI is all about. So, what's next in AI? Smarter thinking, smarter senses, smarter systems. Those are the three things. Like, just building systems that are very intelligent and seeing that they can reason as quickly as possible and also in real time. In real time. So that's pretty much what these things are doing. What should I be doing as a leader of a company or somebody who is actually new in AI? What should I be doing? First thing is that, like we have said, now I'm going to be answering this question from a company's perspective, like somebody who has a firm. So you want to start with the pain point. Now, say for instance, I have a company who I want to integrate AI into my workflow. My friend was talking about AI and he was saying that okay, he has a business. He's looking at how does he put AI, how does he integrate AI into this workflow? And I gave him like 5 things he could do, and he was really powerful. Like he says, that's not every time I come to my platform to check people who have sent messages and CVs. How do I go about it? Very easy. You have to start with the pain points, not even your platform. What are the pain points? And pain points in AI, in tech is more like what are the problems you're trying to solve? And also design for oversight. Agents need testing and governance as much as humans need managers. Do you understand? So you also want to look at how to improve your agentic systems. If you're going to be deploying an agentic AI for your systems, you're looking at is it fair the way it retrieves information? Now, let me say something. I wrote a very bad piece against I'll be ending this by the next 3 minutes so that I can entertain questions. I had a very bad piece on I don't know if you guys know about Gorilla. There's a company called Test Gorilla. I hate this HR company called Test Gorilla. Do you know why? You do a test on their platform, thinking of okay, I love their questions. There's no big deal, not take out from me. But the way they just send you bad news is terrible. No, and I like it. I think there should be something this company needs to do, right? Because you are interfacing with a company and your test is the first thing. And you sent me a very terrible score mark because of your test. I don't know. And I wrote that piece. People, in fact, there are a lot of people that commented. I thought I was the only one in that shoe. But if I were the one, if I were Test Gorilla, how would I empathize with candidates? First off, every candidate that applies for a job is applying from an emotional point of view because their faith is heightened. They are looking forward that, oh, I get this job, even if they are not prepared. So you are very careful with the words you use. You are very careful the way you manage their expectations. You don't know where they're coming from. You don't get them more depressed based on the retrievals or the feedback you give them. Do you understand? So you can improve your system with a very intelligent and empathetic systems that you will love the way the person is interacting as if it's an human being. All right. So, as a leader in AI, you also want to invest in data fluency. You also want to scale responsibly and also celebrate co creation. The winning culture will treat agents as partners. Do you understand? You see that agentic systems are not replacing people, but they are partners for productivity so that you can do more with less. I'll close my thoughts with this. AI is changing the world, definitely. But you can always find your space. Find your space, either it's in the education space, either it's in the engineering space or research, either it is how I call it. If you are interested in whatever space you want to go in the AI space, you can start somewhere. Like I said, ask questions and also try things with your hands. The images that you're seeing online, people are trying to create content. It's also very nice things to do. Try that and also begin to start charting your career. I would also love if anybody asks me a question. Okay, I'm studying this. How can I navigate? Feel free to ask questions. You'll be surprised. I will tell you a lot of things you can do and how job opportunities are actually plenty in that space. All right, I think that will be all for now. Thank you so much for having me. If you have any question, feel free to just. The floor is yours, Mr. Israel.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Wow, that's a powerful lecture. I hope everyone enjoyed the lecture. Hello, can I see our emojis? Okay. Okay. Wow. So we are going to question and answer. We'll be entertaining some questions. Please, I would like to also ask a question, especially where we need clarity. And if you are not the kind of person that have been using AI before, you can also uh, ask your question. Okay, Doctor, sir.
First of all, I want to draw your attention to the chat box. I think someone has a question there. Then I think I want to advise, if you are in participation here, could you just write what you do in the chat box and let our speaker tell you maybe in one sentence how you can use AI to get better in what you do. I hope that helps.
Okay. Okay, can we do that, please? Okay, in the comments, in the chat box, someone asked that how can we use uh, Python? Oh, okay. How can we create content with animation without having knowledge of Python? That is, how can we go with animation content without knowledge of Python?
So the question, the way I will answer it is this: why don't you want to eat the snake? Eat it. Python is not hard. I don't know, Prof. I don't know why people hate coding, right? I'm not saying that we should not shy. You can do anything without coding. But I
I
think
get
one of
where
the
this
things
question
coding.
is coming from.
Okay,
I think
okay.
sincerely, some people really have no use for Python. I believe that. Like the person that is asking is a businessman, you know.
Okay.
I don't think he needs to learn Python, for instance. Maybe he needs to be able to animate, maybe to advertise his business or something like that.
Okay.
How
All right.
about that?
So,
Yeah.
all right. So for someone who is trying to do, okay, I think I saw. Let me read the question for proper context. All right. Okay. That's a very good. So I think I would recommend that you understand prompting very well. So if I were to develop an animation for my business, now this is how I do it. First off, I must understand how scripting works. Do you understand how to write a very good storyline? If that is, you can even ask LLMs to write that story for you. Just go online. Let's take for instance, okay, D&D is a fashion store for children. Now, this is how I created their video. Very easy. Now I know that I'm trying to draw attention for people who want to give children gifts. Like a woman just gave birth, and you want to give birth. You want to give gifts, right? And I wrote a story, a Yoruba story, that to identify that if I give to people a mother, I also am also creating an avenue for me, that is an advantage for me, that okay, when I'm also in that space, I would also, I don't know, just like investing or probably watering the ground for that kind of story. So you can create content around it and look for images and put them together, and your video is fine. So if you are trying to create animation for your story, very easy. You can go to VO3 on Gemini to create. But first create your content and get your story aligned. Then develop your images, right? When you have developed your images, then merge them together. There are a lot of tools that can help you do that, right? But if you need expertise, I can always share someone's contact. She's a lady, a very good friend of mine. You need somebody who has a very traditional animation skill, so that it can come out as if it's an original production, right? So I think that should answer that question.
All right. Thank you, sir, for that wonderful answer. I Someone is okay. Salom Iroko.
Yeah, good afternoon, everybody. Sorry, can everybody hear me?
Yeah, good afternoon.
Yes.
Okay, sir. This is my question. Okay, so I just graduated from Federal University of Technology, Akure, and I studied agricultural and environmental engineering. So, but I'm also into tech. Like I'm a growing Web3 and smart contract developer, which is, should I say, completely different from what I studied. So now, and we all know that there are a lot of opportunities or job opportunities online compared to, I mean, physical work and everything. So this skill that I'm trying to grow, I've grown it to an extent. Now I want to ask that it is entirely different from what I studied. Now I use AI in writing codes relating to my skill. So how am I going to, like, should I say, balance both? Because it feels like not doing what I studied. I graduated with a very nice result. I graduated first class. Now I'm trying to like balance both between the agricultural aspect and the online aspect. I don't know if you get my question very well.
Yeah, yes, I get your question. I don't know. I will answer it halfway. I think Prof will also give fatherly advice. But anyways, I think for that you can always find a pilot around it. There are research companies that their focus is actually agriculture and AI and interdisciplinary. I mean AI, agriculture, right? And they're looking for somebody who has a foundational knowledge. Like someone that is smart as you can leverage fellowship programs. Do you understand? Because fellowship program, what it does is that they do a lot, but they now make it into a masterpiece so that it can give a direction of where you are going at, right? So for someone who has a very good, say, agricultural background, right, and you are doing something online, you can find your niche eventually in terms of I don't know clearly now if so you said smart contract. What does smart contract mean? Can you give more context, please?
Okay, so in this world of AI and Web3. Now, Web3 has to do with crypto and blockchain interaction. So
Okay.
the way Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the other crypto tokens are. So smart contract development is just like building a particular token, like how to build it from scratch and how people interact with it. When somebody wants to buy, when somebody wants to sell, the things that happen back end when you click a button and the token enters your wallet. So that's what smart contract development is. Yeah.
All right. All right. I think if I can get you very well, to be sincere, I think that's something we're actually working on. I will speak to a friend of mine who is he owns the product. So he's developing a kind of land banking, agricultural this thing and all that. But you need to, you can pay in tokens. You don't need to use naira. I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say. You can pay. It's more like the lands are like packets. So it describe the lands are packets on the platform. See that's a very leverage. So for someone like you who has a very good background, you can even build a product around what you are saying. Do you understand? That's a very big expertise. Build a product on how people who are interested in agriculture and they don't want to go to a farm, right? Be the bridge for them. Build a product in agri tech and say, okay, you can pay through tokens. Do you understand? And the transactions is in blockchain or probably Binance, but physically. And there is also you can also have partnerships with real estate companies, right? And make sure that from a prompt, anybody can buy land without even seeing the land, and it's viable and it's also verifiable. So beyond beyond whatever you are building, beyond the job that is available, you can build something. I think I don't think I think that should answer the question. Or you can also look for companies that are actually building that, then join them. They understand. You can learn a lot. That's a very powerful gift that you have a first class. You have in fact, if I open your mind up, you'll be surprised that your next job will not be less than $5,000 because you have a first class guys, they still look for stars guys for AI companies. They like the brains, and they also like people that that have special discipline. So that's I think that should answer it.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Um, Hello. Do anyone still have a question? Okay, all right. Thank you so much, sir. I will just add a little to what Mr. Dapherede has said. I was talking, you should also explore fellowship also. You should also explore fellowship. I think it's just as they have said earlier, it will help you to navigate and help you to build a discipline in whatever you want. I just sometimes I too was I initially wanted to go into health, but I don't even know how to break into it coming from a biochemistry background and not so a fellowship program helped me to break into the research area and then finding my food. So I think explore fellowship also, especially in terms of what your technology aspect. That is, people into research in agriculture, and another thing I will also like to say is that since you know about technology, you can also and then your expertise in your field of study is also agriculture. You can also identify a problem within that set of which is common to people in agricultural engineering that you think your blockchain can solve or minimize. I think that will go a long way. Hello everyone. Please, I want us to just as Dr. Jason has said the other time, please write our name and what we do, like into the chat box. Into the chat box.
I thought time had gone. Oh, sorry, Mr. Israel. Okay, should
Yes,
I
sir.
just say 1 minute? Okay, let me just go through 1 minute. So I'm into oil and gas building material, or I'm into data analytics and public health advocacy. Someone who's studying public health advocacy, my God, that's big. That's big. And when I say that's big, is that because you can go into data collection, right? Partner with there are a lot of I will send there's a link. Probably I will share if you can DM me. There's a company called
Okay,
they
sir.
are into healthcare, but healthcare analytics, and they have a lot of solutions they are solving, right, in AI, right? So one of the problems about AI is that is data. They have a serious data issue. Do you understand? You can solve that. You can say that okay, I'm investing 200,000 naira by myself by gathering questions or probably using an AI tool. Oh my god. Or probably using an AI tool to oh my god. So who's calling me now? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, sir.
All right, so somebody who is in healthcare advocacy is this. So you want to look at research. Do you get? You want to look at research fellowship.
Yes, sir.
You can apply to any research fellowship because advocacy in healthcare is also a very big deal. The Gen Z guys are also not very conversant about their health. They eat anything that comes anytime and all that. So how do you solve that problem in terms of you know there's also like I said I work on different projects. There's one I was working on that I said okay, how do I go to Google and look at statistics of what people are asking, the question people are asking in terms of mental health, and use that to solve a problem. Do you understand that? So you can build something like that.
Yes, sir.
Look for you can gather data, and you might even do it crudely, and you will get funding for this. Take for instance mental health concern. You can do research underground, on universities, what are the questions people ask? What are the core reasons why people ask questions on mental health? Now, how do we know somebody wants to kill himself? Do you understand? Based on the question they are asking online or how they are withdrawn. Do you get it, sir? You can start a movement. You get people who is going to build with you. Do you understand? But like I said, always start with a research fellowship. There are a lot of thousands of research fellowships that you can, apply to. Right? Feel free to chat me up. I'll tell you on how to get into the core thing that they are looking out for.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much. I will chat to you also.
Okay. I don't know if there are any other questions.
Yeah, we still have like 2 or 3.
All right. So there's another one that says that I'm into oil and gas. Okay, I'm into data analytics. My goodness, you're a mathematical scientist. Why not? If you're a math person,
Let me
you
take it from
shouldn't.
the beginning. Can I
All
take
right,
it from
sir.
the beginning so you can follow?
All right, sir.
The first
All
person
right.
here is saying, I'm into project and engineering management. How can AI help me to improve more? Project and engineering management.
Okay, all right. So for somebody who is into project and engineering management, you can become an AI project manager. My friend, my best female friend, she's actually a AI project manager. So what does she do is that she manages AI projects. Do you understand? So, and that is big. They pay them a whole lot of money, right? So what she does, her work is to look at I'll call it the roadmap of AI products, and she manages the project from idea towards to product delivery or to project delivery, because not all we have AI projects like robotics, they are AI projects, like surveillance systems, they are also AI projects. Do you understand? So you can manage the nuances from the end to go. So you need certifications for that. You might be certified, you have to get a scrum master. You also need to, be mentored. This you also have a mentor. You can reach out and ask questions on RBF. She can mentor you, right? So, and that's what she does. Oh, Sunday is asking a question.
Good
Okay, are you done?
afternoon.
If you're done with that, I can go to the next one.
All right, I'm done with that, sir.
Okay. In fact, what if somebody is into construction management and all that? How does that play in? Of course, I'm still coming back on that first one, that the one you just answered, like constructing, building, managing building project and all that.
All right, for that, I feel that you can just leverage any AI tool that they are building currently in terms of costing. Do you understand? Let's take for instance, if you want to
Costing
build a
on
costing analysis. So AI can
right.
actually help in terms of costing analysis projection. You can project it. You yourself can learn AI so much that you can build a platform whereby a bricklayer or somebody who wants to build a house has an idea of the house and he can predict the costing of the house. Do you understand the cost of cement? And it has an algorithm whereby you can impute the number of cement that can build this kind of things, right? That's a very good idea. That's a $1 billion idea I just shared now. Do you understand? Whereby you have a house in mind, but you don't know the costing, so you can project how much per this time, what you can do in 3 months, what you can do in 4 months, what you can do in 5 months. Even without even building anything, you can use ChatGPT to ask those questions. So I think that works.
I mean, I think that's very powerful because, like, building an agentic AI that maybe you put in some parameters, the location, parameters that count like that, and then once the person supplies it, how many rooms, how many floors, all this kind of stuff, then they just get the projected cost straight up. I think that's a lot of sense. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, I go to the next one. I'm into oil and gas and building materials. So this person is actually a merchant. He sells oil and gas and building materials. How can AI help him?
So AI can help in terms of You're selling building material. So why do you need AI in that kind of thing? It depends on how large what you're selling is, right? So if you are selling like a store, do you really need AI? Yeah, you need AI, right? So take for instance, you can also be the e-commerce site for your small product or your company, right? And use the pictures and post them, recreate them, right? And put cost in. So you can build a website for your business for that, or oil and gas, whatever tool. There's a whole lot you can do with here. You can just ask questions. Let me give you an instance. You are selling it physically, but you want to put your product online. So AI can actually give you what we call product information. Like when you go on Jumia, I want to buy a red shirt, right? Now, but I want to have a very full description of that item. AI can do that for you without even you thinking, right? And you have those things bought from China or from a particular brand. So you don't need to do much. Just download the content and put it in your store. So that can help you sell better.
Okay, next one. I'm into data analytics and mathematical sciences. This person is sounding like me. So what does he
Yeah,
do?
yeah. So for this young man, I think you have your life ahead of you. I would love you to go and do masters. I'm not I don't know. I'll just go about do masters in AI or AI analytics. They're looking for you there, right? Because you have an advantage. You can get scholarship, right? So if you have a very good background in data analytics and mathematical science, you can get a job in Anthropic. I can tell you for free, right? You can help them build, you know, probably be one of their researchers, because every foundation of every research has a mathematical inclination, right? Try research companies. But the problem I always have with people like that, I don't know why people struggle. I don't know, maybe it's a grace for me. It's just so easy. And maybe because the way I put up my research, my CV, right, and show them what I've done, it just helps to so go into research fellowship. And yeah, mathematical science is a very, very good background. Then learn how to code. Then you can always find a place in a lab. Not labs. I'm not about lab that will really pay you well. Lab that will pay you for the 6 months can pay close to $15,000, $20,000, $30,000 and all that. Yeah, so I think that should help. A lot of companies are coming up also trying to build LLMs from scratch, so you can work with them.
Interesting. Thank you so much for that. I sincerely feel that if you have a maths background, you have an unfair advantage when it comes to AI. So please explore and do well. Please.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we're back. Yeah, I'm agricultural and environmental engineer, Web3 and smart contract developer, sustainable systems and renewable energy. Okay, I think you answered this question before, but maybe you want to
Yeah.
add one more line. I also have a bit to say about this.
All right.
Oh, should I just go ahead?
Yeah, go ahead, Prof.
Oh, okay. I mean, for someone like Salome, right? I think the challenge people like this would have is skill. Well, yeah, you have plenty skills, so you have to really
Yeah.
decide what exactly do you want to do. Okay, for instance, I know, and okay, should I mention it? Yeah, almost everybody here knows Jumbo, right? He was one of the best graduate students in the last convocation, not the current convocation, the one before this one. And I mean, he studied industrial and production engineering, but while he was studying, he was also picking up skills in coding, software engineering, and everything. So today he has options. He can go the PhD route, and he currently works in a tech startup as a software engineer, and he's doing very well. So you have to decide what exactly you want to do. Another option you have is you can marry all the things you do together. So agricultural engineering and the blockchain thing. So I think at the end of the day, you can just question AI or ChatGPT or Grok or any of those AI tools, and like, okay, I'm interested in agricultural and environmental engineering, and I'm also interested in blockchain. What are the possible things I can do? So from there, you're going to see several options, and you definitely find something that marries the two together perfectly. You also have the option of doing the PhD route. Maybe you want to do so. In fact, you can even drop the agriculture and face environment, because environment is a hot cake all over the world. If you're talking about the environment, there's a lot of funding for that these days. So you have plenty options. So you just have to be focused, know what exactly gives you the most fulfillment, and go for it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And there's a lot of advantage. Like what Prof said, environmental courses are there's a lot of funding if you know how to, if you are well mentored to get into school. But for me, I would still encourage anybody who is a graduate, just go directly. If you have a good grade, go and do PhD, go and do masters. But if you still you are somebody who is in the workspace, you know, you can leverage any research fellowship that is lenient, or you can start learning how to build and just learn how to build, and I think that helps.
Okay, I mean, I think at this point we are done, more or less.
Yes, sir.
Israel, do you have something else to say before I round off? Moderator?
Hello, sir. Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Okay. So can we all do something for our speaker? Like, he's been such a blessing to us today. And thankfully, he has given us tailored suggestions, on how we can use AI to improve whatever we do, right? So please, but if you want to go all the way, I know there are two categories of people here. If you want to go all the way and now become a top voice in AI in no time, I think you want to go go and get your maths in order. You don't even need to learn everything maths. Your statistics, your probability, linear algebra, what's that thing now? Calculus, differentiation and integration. Then you can even go to differential equations. Once you have that in the bag, then go next and start learn data analysis, right? It may take a long route. If I personally suggest that you can start with Microsoft Excel. So, the list, I shared a whole list here about, your data journey made easy. I have 45 videos, for instance, on Microsoft Excel. So once you are done with Microsoft Excel, then I made it such like a pathway that can take you from zero to hero as far as data related stuff is concerned, because AI is all about data, by the way, as you've heard already. So from Microsoft Excel, then you go for Python basics. Even if you have never used Python ever in your life, this is like holding you by the hand. To even make it sweeter, you don't even have to install anything, because you can use Google Colab. Once you have a Gmail account, you can just open Google Colab and start coding. So the first one, I think the first video talks about Python generally. I think the second one talks about how to work your way around Google Colab. And then I have under that, I think I have like 60 videos. Towards the end, I start talking about some key packages for anybody, depending on your field. For instance, if you're into say should I say engineering now? If you are into for data analysis, of course, pandas is like the big deal. Machine learning, you have things like scikit-learn and all that. Then you have things like geopandas if you're into geography related stuff and all of that. So you have all of that there for the Python basics. Then for data analysis with Python, that's where you have learned the basics. So you now want to do data analysis using Python. Of course, you can do data analysis using Microsoft Excel. In fact, I know some people, all the money they make is for Microsoft Excel, because there are deeper depths in Excel that mere mortals don't know. So you can know Excel up to that point, really. But of course, if you're a bit more math inclined, then Python should not be a problem for you. So especially if your ultimate goal is machine learning, then of course you need to get your maths in order, get Python in order. So for data analysis Python, I think I have like 35 videos here. So it takes you through the whole idea of data analysis. How do you get data? Things like self-generated data, maybe data from your research and all that, or data from that are inbuilt in some libraries in Python like scikit-learn or Seaborn for data visualization and things like that. So here you learn about data analysis and data visualization. Then if you want to go for that and you care about database management, so that is where SQL comes in, SQL with Python. So of course SQL can be run in different environments, but for me, I just have this affinity for Python, so I want to do everything in Python. So SQL simply means structured query language. So it helps you to know how to create a database, how to populate a database, how to retrieve information from database and all that. Then for me right now, I am, I outlined the 5 major branches of AI the other time. I talked about machine learning, natural language processing, where generative AI comes up. Then we have robotics, we have computer vision, that talks about gaming and all of that, and graphics and pictures. And then finally, you have expert systems. Under that, that's where you can have things like maybe recommender systems and things like that. And some of these things, they overlap in some ways. So don't forget, 5 main branches of AI, according to me. Somebody else can tell you something else, but according to me, it's machine learning, natural language processing. If I didn't mention deep learning actually comes under machine learning. So machine learning, right? Natural language processing. All right, that talks about working with language translation, interpretation, and generative AI and all of these things. Then robotics, of course, that's making machine do in manufacturing, or you have humanoids, like human robots that can actually cook in your kitchen, sweep your floor, and things like that. Then you have computer vision, that's working with pictures, images, gaming, all of that. Then finally, expert systems, where you make a computer behave like a professional, like maybe a lawyer, a doctor, and maybe recommend you videos, like recommender systems and all that. So those are like 5 big branches. So for me, one big area that catches my fancy as a mathematician is machine learning. So I take it all the way to machine learning. So if you're interested in machine learning now, so data analysis is you just making sense of data, but machine learning is you using data to create models that can predict the future, or that can project into the future. So one other area that catches my fancy now, from day one, I've been a maths and language person. Like I've always loved mathematics and English language. In fact, my WAEC, I had A1 in maths, A1 in English. One common thing that used to happen back in secondary school was, if you see people that were very good in English, they didn't like maths. If you see people that are very good with maths, they didn't like English. In fact, people who have A1 in maths and get F9 in English, or A1 in English and get F9 in maths. So, but I mean, I've always loved these two. So apart from machine learning, another thing I really like in AI is natural language processing. So once the time is ripe, it is one area I want to explore again. And the way I actually learn is by teaching. That's why most of these things I'm teaching, I just picked up this whole AI thing and data science. I just picked it up like around early 2023. And because of AI, it has really accelerated my learning. And I've been teaching on different global platforms. I get invited to different conferences to teach some of these things, especially from a very, because God has given me this grace of teaching, right? So I'm able to, break it down as much as possible. So if you want to go all the way, then this is a kind of pathway for you, and then you can branch out from there. But for people who are like into business and all that, you can actually just look for AI tools like ChatGPT and whatever you want to do. Maybe you want to do animation, you want to do anything. There are tools for whatever it is you want to do. So just go to Google and like, I need an AI tool to do animation. So if you want to do it at an expert level, you may have to pay. Like, everybody uses ChatGPT, but some people pay to use ChatGPT and they get more value out of that. So it all depends on what you want to achieve. So before I get to talk too much again, I guess that should help everybody here. And I thank you so much. If you're not part of RBF already, RBF is the Real Boys Forum. There we learn a lot of things about different aspects of our lives, because our goal is we want to raise balanced human beings. So in academics, in career, in finance, in fitness, in leadership, in marriage, in parenting, in personal development, in relationships, and of course in your spirituality. We believe that if all these areas are together in your life, you're a potent weapon. There's no stopping you. So if you have God, you have every other thing, and you're just excellent all around. So if you're not part of RBF yet, this is your opportunity. I think I shared the link earlier. Let me see if I can just still pull it up and reshare. I think almost everybody here is actually on the platform, but if you are not, let me see. I'm not seeing the link. Let's see. Okay, I'm not saying it. So I mean, you can reach out to anybody else on this platform, and you can get in easily. All right. So at this point, thank you so much once again. Our leader Damilola Dapherede, thank you so much for your wealth of knowledge. Thank you for opening our eyes to things we never thought possible. I mean, at some point, if I'm tired of maths and doing all the hard maths, I you have inspired me to consider AI governance and ethics. So it may just be something I want to develop an expertise in, and there we just speak English and tell them the right things to do and all that. Okay, Israel, please, it's over to you. Before we round off.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I just want to chip this in for those that want to navigate into AI, maybe generative for business and all that. There are some courses on LinkedIn that you can take, also on ALX or foundational AI, whereby you just know about the maybe some terms and how to go about AI, giving you a foundation of what AI is, and the ability to also use the generative AI in a way that can benefit you, your business, or whatever thing you are doing in the office.
Okay. So, I mean, whatever you do, there's an AI tool to amplify your job for sure. So, interestingly, this is the second to the last virtual meetup for this year. Thank you for being here always. I think maybe the last virtual meetup may just be something about, preparing for next year, how to prepare yourself to take advantage of whatever is ahead. And of course, how to trust God to lead you for the next year. And you can have quantum leaps. If you think you're at the top in some area, you can actually be way, way better. You can have quantum leaps. You can be multiplied in ways beyond what you can imagine. So keep an open mind and keep growing, keep getting better. Thank you so much once again, Dapherede Damilola. Thank you, moderator, Israel Ogunsola. You've always been, in fact, you have been our most consistent moderator. Thank you so much. We are very grateful for your services. For everybody in attendance, I must really appreciate you for being here. I see Edewo Ogeneruno, though you didn't tell us what you do. Maybe you would have been able to tell us something for you. I see my big brother, our chairman in another sphere, like Lawrence Ubie. I see Raji Victor Oluwatobiloba. That's actually a mathematician. I guess that's one of my former students in foot, I think. Then Samson Oluwabukola, thank you for being here. Salome Iroko, the first class Baba. Nice to be here. Nice to have you here. Sunday Venance, my brother from way back. Thanks for being here. See you once again. We'll continue our conversations in the RBF WhatsApp group. Have a nice weekend. God bless you. Bye.